Hey guys, Thomas from Team Sakuraso here. Come at you with the remote duel YCS. Day 2, I have the top 32 here, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on kind of what I think, but mainly I want to go over how disastrous this event was because I've never seen so many people complain about a single event since one event that I cannot talk about because I have some private info on that. But if to sum up what event I'm referring to for those old school players, has to deal with doing it on the floor. Yeah, whoever knows it knows it. Whoever does it doesn't. But Remote Duel YCS Day 2, the top 32. You guys know I'm already happy because there's a Medolce here. We're going to go through this top 32, and then I'm going to get right into the crazy stories. But before that, if you guys can smash that like button, that would be great. If you guys are not subscribed for the channel, hopefully today's the day I earn your subscription. If you guys like these kinds of videos, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and tell me what you think about the overall meta right now, and what you guys think of the YCS, especially if you played in it. I really want to know some of your horror stories because I can only cover a few after this. But getting right into it, 13 Tri-Brigade, 6 Zodiac, 6 Pure. That's kind of something I understood. I thought Zoo was going to take 12 to 15 spots, maybe possibly like, 16, 17, about half of it. The only thing that really shocks me is there's an Ancient Warrior build for Zoo, which is like kind of cool actually. I mean, at least it's something, new, but we have 7 Dryden. I honestly expected Dryden to take somewhere from like 6 to 10. Kind of more towards 8, 9, but 7 Dryden, that's not too bad. I mean, the deck is good. It's not something crazy like people think it would be. It's a tier 1 deck, but it's not anything close to that could be considered one of the best decks of the format or a tier 0 deck. For Virtual World, now a lot of people thought this lost because of, of what got banned, VFD, but the issue is Virtual World was always a solid deck, but when you could make double VFD and like protect them, that's just better than anything the deck could do. It was absolutely insane, and there was no real reason to play any other way of Virtual World. However, now with VFD banned, which I think was an amazing ban, this Virtual World can actually show what Virtual World was supposed to do. It was nice to get such a good archetype out of Phantom Rage. Like Phantom Rage was very, very good. It was just very underwhelming day one and leads up to it. But Salamangreat, like people love Salamangreat to the dawn of time. I don't even think the deck's that good right now. I still think the deck is fine, but I think one of the biggest reasons we're seeing Salamangreat in the top 32 is because of the overwhelmingly amount of people who are trying to play Salamangreat or Sky Striker. There was actually a decent amount of people trying to play Sky Striker, which is funny because you'll notice there is no Sky Striker here. But yeah, Salamangreat, 2 spots, that's completely fine. One Prank Kids. I'll be honest with you. People will. I listen. No offense to the Harv card man, but people will not let this deck go. It is not a bad deck, right? A Raigeki during your opponent's turn is quite good, especially if you can make it with like a Toad and all that, depending on what your board could be. But I still think that Prank Kids, while like a decent rogue deck, this is just kind of that deck that will get a top 32 here and there, and this is that top 32. We have one Medolce. This makes me so happy. It really, really does. Like Medolce is such an awesome deck, and it actually could play pretty well nowadays, especially as but it's just as a going second deck. You kind of have to play knowing that you're going to have to play hand traps like Droll. I've seen a lot of people do certain plays like that. Some people are just playing going first Medolces now, and they're kind of abandoning the OTK strategy, which is fine because now you have Herald, you have other type of plays you can make. Like you can actually make a really good board with Medolces turn 1 now. I think the one Medolce is actually very, very nice. That's awesome. One Dragon Link. A lot of people don't understand how this topped, which I honestly don't understand either. Because one, I expected to get like 3 or 4 more tops, but I think a lot of people don't have faith in the deck. The reason being is because when LP finally got banned, it should have been banned for like 2 years. Well, no, Savage Strike came out 2 years ago. Should have been banned like a year ago. People have been requesting an LP ban for a very long time, but Dragon Link is still strong. It's hurt a lot because of the LP ban, which is good, but it can still make a lot of boards. You can still set up like 2, 3, 4 negates, especially depending on the extenders in hand it has, because Dragon Link, while it has its generic combos of going into, uh, what's called Red Dragon, or not Red Dragon Archfiend, but Red Darkness Metal, all that stuff, right? It has its normal combos with like Boot Sector, Launch, and Striker. It still isn't a cookie cutter deck. It still has a lot of versatile plays, so then we have this, and you guys are probably wondering what this is. It's this nuts. Got him. That's not even the first time I've seen that joke, but I thought it funny. It is uh invoked. I think it was invoked D and S. I forgot what it exactly is, but it mixed stuff up with invoked. That's all I know about it. I think it was striker, invoked, and like Dryden or something. I forgot exactly what. Then we have the one Subterror, monkey deck do things, and then we have one Dinosaur. Dinosaur's still a good deck, but with Mist get one, a lot of people kind of lost faith in the deck, and I think that's a little ridiculous because you could still make a lot of good plays, and it's not like you don't have any ways to get to your one copy of Misk. I just think it's a little ridiculous personally, but I guess a lot of people didn't have faith in the deck and they didn't play it. A deck could still be really, really good, but if you have, say, the 1796, players here, if you only have, say, 30-ish, about 30, 35 Dinosaur players, I expect it to be maybe one or two in the top 32, probably just one. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. But we are seeing a lot of variety, which is really nice. About a 25% is kind of this nice slice here of a lot of variety. Literally, we have 7 decks here and this 25%. And then we have the 3 kind of tier 1 decks. I'm kind of cool with formats like this. I mean, at least there's a lot of variety. It kind of shows that anything could kind of get to the top 32, which is really, really nice actually over here. However, now I'm going to get to the funnest part of this video, which is the horror story. So I have about 2 or 3 here to share. I'll start with this one, which I'm going to just share my quote tweet, but this was hilarious. Because I knew this event was going to be bad because a remote duel YCS just sounds awful on paper. So there was a ping that said, we need a server boost here. Who gives a boost server here? Okay, that's really awful English. I thought that was me. Whoever gives a server boost here will get 2 OTS packs added to his account, which will be shipped with the YCS prizes. If you have Discord Nitro 2 boosts are free. We only need 2 to have better video quality, so please check it before you boost. Once you boosted the server, make a screenshot and send it to me on Sunday evening. So what this essentially means, and if you guys know what Discord boosts are, basically they're things you get like a lot of emojis, you get you get better streaming quality. You get more frames per second as well, and I think you get like a few other things with Discord Nitro. But those are like the main 3 things. And what they really needed this Discord server boost is to see like the cards better, the quality for the streams are better, for people who are watching, all that. What's ridiculous to me is it's $10 for a Discord boost. 2 Discord boosts, I think they're like $10, right? You're telling me that the Konami judges, or the people in charge of this event, didn't have McDonald's, McDouble money. Really? They literally did not have $10. Like, this is ridiculous to me. And it's even more worse because Konami, because this was a sanctioned event, didn't give them any money to boost the servers, or like, there's not like a small amount of money to put towards like, X things of like, oh, this happens, or, oh, we have to give money to make sure everything runs smoothly. None of that. They actually had to, and a lot of people actually had issues with the complete wrong thing of the statement, which I'll get to, but they really didn't have $10 for a Discord boost and had to ask the players. That was hilarious to me. I really thought this was a fake screenshot, but I've seen a lot of people giving different screenshots that have this contained. A lot of people verifying it's true. It's just hilarious how they actually had to ping 1,700 players because they couldn't get $10. That's insane to me. And pretty hilarious. But what people were upset about, which is so funny because it's so stupid, and it would go over my head because the whole statement is ridiculous, but people saw it as people getting paid in OTS packs, which is scummy. Like, do you really care about 2 OTS packs trading hands? Like, that's kind of what I have to ask about the player base. And then a lot of people kind of had this discussion, well, oh, it really sucks when people like YouTubers get a box, all that, which is understandable if you want to take that. I don't think I'd agree with it, but I would understand it. But someone getting an extra 2 packs to their account because they offered a Discord boost to help all the players, technically, that's a good thing. Like, I don't really have an issue with someone getting 2 extra OTS packs. If they're going to help the stream quality of an event and they do all this, and it's 2 OTS packs for an incentive, that's nothing bad at all. All I'm saying is I just think that the fact that they had to ask was absolutely ridiculous. Now, we're going to go through some more stories because I've heard nothing but complaints regarding the judge call stay at NA remote to YCS. Hasn't really been that bad. Now, I'm only going to have a few here because I can't verify as many as true. Only because there's a lot of people saying, oh, this happened, and I could just tell they're lying, or stuff just doesn't add up, but we're going to get into it. So, my mom brought sandwiches into the room. By the way, this guy's Bear. He does, like, cool deck profile stuff, so if you want to check him out, go for it. My mom brought sandwiches into the room during siding. I asked my buddy how his sandwich was. My opponent called judge, and the judge kicked my friend out of the room, which is really funny, at least to me, because how does a judge kick someone out of a room? In fact, someone actually said it right here, and I just don't understand it. Like, that just sounds funny to me. I do understand, however, why maybe they got kicked out, because since you're playing and, you're siding, maybe you're not allowed to talk to people. But, like, with this whole YCS thing and people are dueling at home, it's like a lot more relaxed. It's like you're at your own home, you're with a buddy or two, right? You kind of forget that it doesn't feel like you're at a big event because let's be honest, this is a Clownfest, right? So I'm gonna give a little bit of credit to his opponent, but like I would have more like just chilled with it, especially if I could hear them and all that, and then just if they're once we start doing, be like, hey, is it cool if like you're the only one in the room? I would just be nice about it, basically. And I don't know Bear well. I'm not gonna pretend like I do, but he seems like a kind fellow from my interactions with him. So I think he would most likely say something like, "Yeah, that's fine, man." And then they would proceed with their duel because a lot of people are really on edge with all the cheating that's happening in remote duel. So maybe his opponent just had a lot of bad experiences. Who really knows? I'm not even trying to play devil's advocate here. I understand a little bit, but at the same time, I just find that really funny. Uh, Another one, by the way, I did not play. I know a lot of people want the free mat and all that, but I just didn't feel like, I'll be honest with you, I'd rather go out with friends and have all this fun stuff. If I would go to a YCS, I'm not going to waste a Saturday to play online Yu-Gi-Oh with my webcam. That's not going to happen. Uh, but I'll read my comment here because a lot of you are probably attracted to, my name. Before COVID took tournaments away, they had judges making calls like imperming and Apollosa negates its effects, but it retains its attack. Oh, and by the way, that was a top 32 ruling. I do think that there's a lot of judges there that should not be judging because they really don't play anything but Gold format, and they just can't judge. So judges in general have not been in a good place for a while. It used to be more corrupt, but now it's just plain stupidity and corruption. It's one of the reasons why I always get like a little worried about judges. Like, you give people who are, I hate to say this, but a lot of people in the card games, especially stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, all that, any type of power they get, even though judging at a literally collectible card game isn't what I would consider power at all. But to them it is, and they just go wild with it, and that's kind of why I don't like about them. But yeah, there's that one. Yeah, I had a Sky Striker player tell me I couldn't send Giant Rex after he activated different dimensional ground. Had a judge call, took about 10 minutes, and then proceeded to 2-0 him. Well, that's not really a judge call. That's just something with a player. My opponent's entire field was in view, except part of his graveyard was just barely out of frame. So it was in frame, but it was barely. Everything was completely visible, but the judge stopped the game, give him a PE minor for it. Today was wild, to say the least. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Sometimes, because you're moving cards and everything, you don't know if something's in frame or not. And technically, since that was, I assume it was basically impossible to cheat. I just felt like that was definitely ridiculous. But, it is what it is. Like, this is why I will never, like, really care about these remote duel-esque YCSs, because they just feel like such a fucking hassle. I feel like I'm gonna hum out, I'm gonna be tilted, right? Not because I played bad or because, I drew unlucky or my opponent maybe just had every answer, nothing like that, but because of either very dumb technicalities or just people being not so good people. And by that, I mean like cheaters, corrupt judges, a judge call that's easily bad. I'm also going to talk about another one here. One of them ruled a Zeke wrong for a Link summon, which is basically, I think the striker was under Gozen match. And I think Zeke was a different attribute, but a lot of people were really upset about this ruling. I've heard a lot. I bring that up because I can't verify that one just yet, but because I really want to see a little more about it. But there's a lot of bad rulings with it. So if you missed this, I do know, by the way, this I don't know if this 796 was even all players. I think we had like after round 1, we had like 400 drops or something, because a lot of people were just like they wanted the mat and they wanted to leave, right? Konami really wanted to push this event, and they gave an incentive that honestly I probably should have maybe taken, but again, like I said, I'd rather go out with my fiance and have a great time, have fun, and not just sit in a small room with my webcam set up, getting upset because I'm getting, DQ'd because my graveyard was only half in frame. Like, I don't want to do that. But I want to know what you guys think of this Remote Duel YCS. What do you think of the meta breakdown? Like usual, leave a like if you guys enjoyed and subscribe. If you're buying any cards off TCG Player, please use my affiliate link down in the description below. Helps out the channel to no additional cost to you. And consider being a YouTube channel member. And I will see you guys next video, most likely with a market watch and then a 5 cards to have in your trade binder. So I'll see you guys soon.